Hey everyone, my name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. I'm going to give a hypothetical portfolio update. This is the portfolio that I threw together in front of everybody. What that is I was adding companies. I was telling everybody what I'm doing. I'm going to give you an update on the portfolio and what the total gain is. I started this portfolio January 8th of 2021. So this is a relatively new portfolio. It hasn't been in existence for very long. And remember, I started with nothing, and I've been adding in very slowly. So the average hold time in this portfolio is probably only a month and a half or 2 months. So I'll jump in here, show you what the portfolio is at. It's at 25.65% is the total gain in the portfolio since that time frame. I've been adding the ones at the top are the most recent adds. They're going to be down the least amount. And as you go down, these are ones that have been in the portfolio a little bit longer. You can see that CPE is a big winner, 152%. Global Atomic, Crew Energy, Laramide, I had a really good buy there. Taseko Mines has been pretty good. Petra Technologies, 110%. SM Energy, 117. Blue Skies have done very well, 75%. Now, Encore 32, Centennial Development, 63%. Contango, 51%. A lot of the oil companies have done very well. And to look at the portfolio, kind of where I'm putting my money in here. I've got a couple copper companies. I have an oil group, a uranium group. I have some precious metals companies. And I've been cost averaging into them as they were declining. So the strategy here is if something is cheap, I mean, they're all cheap on a big relative vantage viewpoint, because over the next decade, I think they're all going to crush it. I mean, absolutely decimate it. And we've been in a corrective phase for the majority of these companies outside of oil. Uranium's been meandering upward, but it's not an impulse move higher. I haven't caught an impulse move higher outside of oil in this portfolio yet. When the impulse moves come, this portfolio is going to explode higher. It's going to be many hundreds of percents. I caught the impulse move in precious metals from early 2020 to mid 2020. There were companies that went up over 600% in 2.5, 3 months. So the strategy, the way that you want to play this, I think, is you find your companies, you get in them when the things are low and you've got pullbacks, and then you hold on for the impulse move. The impulse moves, we're going to see many impulse moves over this entire bull market. And that's how markets move. They don't move straight up, they don't move straight down, unless apparently Bitcoin's moved pretty straight up in a gigantic impulse move higher. And I'm not pro Bitcoin. I'll talk about that maybe later in a different video. But you got these big impulse moves up, and then they do corrective phases, and then another impulse move up in a corrective phase. That's just how the market moves. So you have to endure those pullbacks, and you want to be invested and stay invested during the big impulse moves. And I think the large ones, the third leg, which is the biggest impulse move, I think is coming very soon. And that's why I'm getting my shares. Now, what companies do I like right now? Silver companies, I like them. I think we're very close to the end of this corrective phase, and we're very close to beginning to move up. Whether it takes a month or two, that's okay. Again, I can't time these things perfectly. No one can. If I could, I'd be the richest man in the world if I could time every little thing perfect. I try my best. That's why I'm staying invested. That's why I'm cost averaging in. And I think the big move, the overall commodity boom is still ahead of us. So what companies, right? So I like Nova Royalty. I think that's a good one to cost average into. So that one right here, NOVRF, I do like that one very much. There's a bunch of uranium companies that you can buy into. My favorites, again, this is not financial advice. I can't give advice. It's just education. But the ones that I like the most are Encore Energy, ENCUF. I like Deep Yellow, DYLLF. And one strategy that I use is the exploration companies are lagging some of these developer companies. So they are still down a little bit more depending on who they are. And what I do is I spread a whole bunch of money across all of them. It could be 5, it could be 10 of them, something like that. I just blow it all out, because if 1 or 2 of them hits, if 1 or 2 has a 50 times or 100 times return, doesn't matter what you have on the other one. You're going to have ones that are going to be lagging. There's laggers in there somewhere, but you're going to also have ones that are absolutely going to crush it. So my strategy has been to capture all of the gains, because if you capture the 1 or 2 that are absolutely excellent, you're going to win very big. Now, I know people, they want to hold, if you could only pick 3 companies, if you could only do, that's not the strategy. The strategy isn't to pick 3 companies. The strategy isn't to be trying to figure out which ones are the best ones. And if you try doing that and you're wrong, then you've got laggards. And if you've been on the channel for a little while, you notice that the ones that do the best are the ones that have the least, they look the worst fundamentally almost. They've got the most debt. I mean, look at the oil companies. All the ones that are great oil companies that don't have any debt, they haven't gone much of anywhere, but these debt ones that were driven into the ground almost to zero are going vertical. 13 times your money already in 6 months. That's what I was up in SM. About 13x, 12x, it's somewhere in there. And that company's balance sheet doesn't look that great. Neither does Centennial Development, neither does Callon Petroleum, but those are the highest returning companies that I have in my portfolio, are those right now. Encore Energy is very good. That one has a little bit better balance sheet, but that's all those companies are beginner companies. They're all developers. So I'm loading my portfolio up with development companies, a couple more high debt companies with higher cost producers, because those are the ones that get driven into the ground more so. So in the oil sector, which I also think is a very good sector, my 3 favorite companies are Centennial Development, SM Energy, and Callon Petroleum. They're high leverage. They've got a lot of debt. And when this all unfolds back, inflation bails out the biggest debtors. Inflation is a component of oil price. Oil price is going to go up in an inflationary environment along with the commodity bull cycle. So those are the ones that I like. I also like royalty companies. I think the risk is a lot lower on the royalty companies. They have diversified income streams. I like to park a bunch of money in them. Which ones are my favorite? My favorite are Nova Royalty, NOVRF, EMX, which is EMX. That's a precious metal. Nova's a copper nickel company. EMX is a diversified royalty company. It has a lot of precious metals, some copper, and some other minerals in that one, base minerals. I also like Teuton Resources. That is TEUTF is the OTC ticker symbol. TUO for you guys up in Canada. And then I also like Ely Gold, ELYGF. And then if you want a little bit larger royalty company, I like Wheaton Precious Metals, WPM. Sandstorm Gold is also good. There's also a bunch that are really good. So I'm not saying that I don't own those. I just don't own as much in them. Some of my other holdings, I'm in the diversified mining companies. The diversified mining companies that are larger, that pay big dividends, they've got a bunch of different minerals that are going to be needed in greater quantities in the future. My favorite big mining company is NILSY, Nornickel or Norilsk Nickel. That company produces copper, nickel, and PGM metals, platinum group metals. That 3 right there is going to be on fire because rhodium's gone through the roof, palladium's starting to move, platinum's going to catch up. They have all of those, and it's a very large producer. And nickel and copper are going to be needed in ever greater quantities. So I like NILSY, Southern Copper, SCCO, BHP Group, which is BHP. I also like Rio Tinto, RIO, South32, SOUHY, and Vale, VALE, which is a large nickel company and iron ore company. All of those I have a good stake in all of them. Very big stakes. Then looking down, there's other ones too that I might be forgetting. I like Bannerman BNNLF for a uranium company. That one's very good. I own some energy service companies, Tetra Technologies, TTI, RIG, RIG. Some of these smaller companies like Blue Sky Uranium, Baseload Energy, Pure Point Uranium, all those little companies, I own all of them. I mean, I own a bunch of uranium. The only ones I don't own are some of the bigger ones. I do not own Camco. There's no reason for me to own it. It's too big. The returns are not there. I'd rather go buy physical silver than own Camco. And maybe that's the wrong move. That's just been my viewpoint on it. I'd rather go buy physical platinum, physical silver than Camco. Camco's too big. It's not going to move. I'd rather put all my money into the smaller cap companies like Pure Point, Baseload, Sky Harbor, Standard Uranium, all those. I own all of them. I try to get some money in there, and if one of them or two of them hits, I mean, that could be a 200 time, 100 times your money, 50 times your money, something like that. Camco's not going to come anywhere near that. And I'd rather take a betting strategy on those than to put a bunch of money in a very large uranium company. I don't even think Camco is going to beat the diversified mining companies, like something like a Nornickel. I think Norilsk Nickel is going to kill it. I think it's going to do at least a 20 bagger, and I don't think Camco will. I think it'll go up like 6 times or something like that. That's my guess. I don't know. RECAF, Reconnaissance Energy, that's an oil company trying to look for some stuff. I think that one's pretty good. I've got some in that. Oh, for silver companies, my favorites, Discovery, it just changes ticker symbol, DSVSF, Discovery Metals. It's a higher cost producer of silver. So I like that one. I like the exploration company Metallic Minerals, which is right next to Alexco. MMNGF is the ticker symbol. I like the big silver companies, AG, EXK, a couple other small ones that I just purchased in gold is Free Gold Ventures, FGOVF. So I own that one, up my stake there. I own Aftermath Silver, AAGFF. There's a couple other ones that people like. Arcana Silver, I think is a decent one. But what I'm doing is I'm spreading my money amongst all these and trying to catch the big move. I own Silvercrest, SILV. I'm just trying to go through and remember all the ones. I've been adding to the small guys right now. Free Gold Ventures, I added to Metallic Minerals because it's down. Those are 2 that stick out. And I'm waiting. I'm sitting on them. These things are volatile as heck. So if you guys are planning to go into these are not an easy ride. They go up and down. I think Free Gold Ventures was down like 9%, and it ended 5 or 6% down just this past trading session. But I'm going for it. So this money it's only about 15 to 20% of my entire net worth, and I'm going for it. I'm swinging for the fences. I'm not hitting singles here. I'm going for home runs. And my strategy is put a portfolio allocation of about 2% to 3% in each position, somewhere in there, 2 to 5%. Spread it out, and hopefully some of these absolutely crush it. I've had some go up a ton, SM Energy, Centennial Development, Callum Petroleum. Some of those have gone up very much so. SM, it's over a 10 bagger, 12 bagger right now. And I overweighted that one, thank God. And my portfolio, my real one, I think the past year, this isn't about bragging, I'm just telling you what I think the past year it's up 220%, the entire portfolio. That was since the beginning of March 2020. That's when I had the big 2 impulse moves, the impulse move in oil, the impulse move in precious metals, all that stuff. So that's been my return over the past year. It's 220%. SM Energy was the oil companies have been big movers for me. Encore Energy, I overweighted that one. That one's done very well. I overweighted Baseload. That one's up about 100% or more. And I'm just trying to think of the other one that I have deep yellow. I'm a little bit overweight in that. I think that's up over about 100% or something. But I mean, SM Energy being up 13x, 12x, whatever it is, has really helped the portfolio go up. And that was the one I put the most amount of money in. So if you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys listening. This is Finding Value.